You got a new album, This Godless Endeavor. Would you tell us something more about this record?
We recorded it in England at Andy Sneap's farm, and it took us about 2 months. We just kind of moved into the place, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, so it really enables you to focus only on making music. There's no outside distractions, and it was our first record with the new guitarist Steve Smythe, of course, and when we started writing for this album, we decided we're not going to make a record that we think, will sell. We're going to make a record we want to make. We don't care if it sounds commercial to people's ears or not, and just didn't put any boundaries on the songs. So that's, of course, why we have one song that's almost 10 minutes long on the record. But I think that if you start thinking in terms of what's going to sell, then your art gets compromised. So we've never wanted to make any compromises in that respect.
You mentioned about new guitarist Steve Smythe.
Yeah.
What was his role in the songwriting process?
He co-wrote 3 songs with myself. And,
How are the listeners' reactions, fans' reactions?
for Steve's contributions?
Yes.
I think that, his writing style is very similar to ours, so it just gelled very well together. And the funny thing is, some people, if they're not looking at the credits in the record, and if you ask them which songs you think that he was, writing, some people just can't figure it out. So I guess that means it fits well.
I know there is a James Murphy element on this album.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite solos on the record, actually. He was at the studio there working with Martin from Skyclad, his new band. He was working on demos there with James in the other studio. And Jim was working on this instrumental piece and just decided to ask James if he would like to do a solo on it. And I remember going to bed that evening and woke up in the morning. They'd been working on it all night, and when I woke up, I said, "Come on, you got to hear this." And I just went, "Wow, I guess it was worth staying up all night because it's pretty fucking awesome." I love his playing. I'm a big fan of his playing, so it was great to have him on the record as well.
Would you classify your music style?
I have no idea. People call us thrash metal, people call us power metal, people call us progressive metal, people call us progressive death metal. I don't know what the hell to call us. I think that we've pretty much carved out our own niche, and I think that it's very tough to categorize what our music does sound like, because I've heard so many different opinions on what exactly it is, and all I know is I don't think we're power metal.
Today you're playing on Metalmania festival here in Poland. I wonder how the typical day, a tour day, looks like.
A whole lot of driving and eating shitty food and sitting around and waiting to get on stage, and that's what you live for,
So it's terrible.
Well, yeah, it's terrible, but rock and roll isn't as glamorous as people think it is.
So what keeps you alive, to be honest?
Beyond food, just being able to do this. I mean, most musicians don't get the chance to be able to tour the record, to be able to tour the world, and play in so many different countries for so many different fans. And I just feel lucky because I've been given that chance. And a lot of musicians struggle their whole lives and never get to this level. So that's what keeps me going.